Hello everyone. At the beginning, we would like to say how delighted we are to have this opportunity to share our work at such an important conference. We are presenting the study on college students' credibility judgments on healthy diet information on social media. The study was carried out among the college students at the University of Zadar, Croatia, by researchers at the Department of Information Sciences, Nikolina, Peša, Pavlović, Mate, Juric, and me, Alica, Kolarić. First, we would like to say a little bit about the problem we are addressing and why we decided to explore this specific phenomenon. College students are in the stage of life when they gradually take over the responsibility for making their own decisions, including food and dietary choices, which affects their health and well-being. Making healthy food choices depends on their nutrition and food literacy competencies, which include abilities for making credibility judgments. The abilities to judge the credibility and to tell the credible information from that which is not affects attitudes and behaviors, and in the context of dietary decisions, healthy food-related choices. However, as we all know, today's information environment is quite complex and does not make this job easy. Young people show a growing variety of information behavior across platforms on social media and mobile web. They interact with dietary information provided by sources of diverse authority, from nutritionists and other professionals to bloggers and influencers. The credibility of such information sources and the quality of information they provide varies considerably. For that reason, we believe it is important that we understand how college students judge the credibility of healthy diet information and to find a way to help them to navigate the complex information environment if such help is needed. The overall objective of this study was to investigate how college students judge the credibility of healthy diet information, while the part we are presenting was focused on the criteria used for judging the credibility of authors on social media. To reach the goal, we sought to answer the following research questions. First question was, how often do students use social media for healthy diet information? And what is the level of trust they attach to this source? The second question was, what criteria do students use when assessing the credibility of authors on social media, and what is the criteria importance? Next, the question was, what problems do students encounter when evaluating healthy diet information? The fourth question was, are credibility judgments about the importance of expertise and friendly interaction correlated with frequency of use and trust in advice from authors on social media? And finally, are students' credibility judgments related to their nutrition literacy and healthy diet behavior? We used a mixed method approach and a sequential two-phase research strategy. In the first research phase, we use semi-structured individual interviews carried out via Skype and combined with think aloud method. The sample was convenient and purposive. We conducted 6 interviews until the point of saturation was reached, both regarding the earlier interviews and the selected past credibility research. The second phase used a survey to test the results on a wider sample. The instrument was developed from the interview results and from a review of the relevant body of literature. The survey sample was also convenient and purposive, and the research was carried out among the students of the University of Zadar from December 2020 to April 2021. And here is what we found. As we already said, the first research question was, how often do students use social media for healthy diet information, and what is the level of trust they attach to this source? The overall results showed that for meeting their nutrition needs, students seek information from a variety of information sources, including social media. This finding echoes previous studies, which have also shown that social media and image-based platforms such as Instagram are an accessible choice of nutrition-relevant information, and that social media are popular information sources for seeking nutrition information. Interviewed students reported appreciating authors' friendly interaction and trusting information sources perceived as educated, experienced, and experts, such as health professionals and nutritionists, as well as sources whose sports achievements and physical appearance prove their knowledge and the quality of information they provided, for example, athletes and influencers. The majority of surveyed students followed specific authors on social media on healthy diet topics. The survey results echoed the previous studies, confirming that students value authors' expertise and showing that they moderately trust authors on social media. Also, they showed that YouTube and Instagram are the most commonly used platforms for getting information on healthy diet. The second research question was, what criteria do students use when assessing the credibility of authors on social media, and what is the criteria importance? In the interviews, the students' judgments on the credibility of information provided by authors on social media centered around the characteristics of information sources which made them believable. The characteristics which made the criteria used for credibility judgments were education, expertise, experience, trustworthiness, reputation, and popularity in the users' community. The ability to provide detailed and verified information also proved important, as well as motivating and friendly interaction. The use of socially generated cues, such as users' comments and like to dislike ratio, already proved important in youth's interaction with information in studies done by other researchers, and this phenomenon was recognized as a bandwagon heuristic. A bandwagon heuristic is defined as a mental shortcut for effortless assessment of believability of information if others believe it too. The survey results repeated some of the interview results and echoed previous studies showing that the most important credibility judgment criteria were authors' expertise, experience, and ability to provide verified information. The perception of impartiality, trustworthiness, being well-meant, and ability to motivate proved to be moderately important, while physical appearance, lifestyle, friendliness of author, and belonging to a credible institution were less, but still relatively important. The author's popularity and knowing the author in person proved to be the least important to the majority of the students. Moreover, the interviews indicated and the survey confirmed the results that are in line with some earlier studies. That is, college students sought to verify information obtained on the internet by additional research on other websites, applying the criteria of matching of information from different sources. Some of the participants expressed criticism towards the internet and social media as sources that cannot be completely trusted for providing credible information. This corresponds with findings from earlier studies on credibility in other contexts. The third research question was about the problems that students encounter when evaluating healthy diet information. The interview's results indicated that the greatest difficulty that the participants faced was to assess whether the obtained information met their individual information needs. However, the survey students reported not having problems with such assessments. On average, students reported that they mostly did not have difficulties with seeking and evaluating information, as reflected in their high level of nutrition literacy self-efficacy. We consider this finding in the context of the previous studies. Eisenbach argues that credibility evaluation in health contexts depend on users' needs and expectations. He adds that young people need to reach a degree of cognitive ability, knowledge, self-efficacy, and autonomy to evaluate and effectively use the information for making good dietary choices. It is also known that the youth tend to overestimate their capacities to evaluate information, and that experience is critical in credibility perceptions and evaluation practices. In this light, we may question whether the confidence in evaluating healthy diet information reflects the survey respondents' true abilities to perform such a complex and challenging process. With the fourth question, we wanted to find out if credibility judgments about the importance of expertise and friendly interaction were correlated with frequency of use and trust and advice from authors on social media. In the survey, we wanted to test a hypothesis developed from some previous credibility studies, which was proven in the first research phase. This hypothesis suggests that the quality of the relationship with interpersonal information source can be more important than author's expertise in seeking information from specific information source. The results showed that on average, author's expertise was perceived to be more important than motivating and friendly interaction of authors on social media. The students were aware of the importance of the author's expertise while judging credibility, which was reflected in the correlations between the level of trust in the author and the importance of the author's expertise. However, the students' behaviors were not entirely consistent with this statement. Expertise was important to almost everyone, while friendly interaction was more important to those students who used social media more frequently to obtain healthy diet information. More precisely, the importance of authors being motivating, friendly, experienced, popular, and attractive was correlated with the frequency of following advice from those authors, while authors' expertise was not. From this, we concluded that the key reason why an individual author was followed as an information source on social media was the author's friendly interaction rather than his or her expertise. The reason for that could be that expertise is important to almost everyone, while friendly interaction is the key to attract more active followers on social media. This is in line with the studies which also showed that a relationship may be the reason why an individual is sought as information source more than his or her knowledge. It has been shown that young people might be prone to mistake the quality of relationship with interpersonal sources with credibility of the information sources, appreciating sources that are well-meaning, familiar, supportive, and caring. Young people's affinity toward information sources that are not only informative, but also motivating and friendly, echoes the work by Julian, who has found that young people need and seek help from friendly information sources, which provide emotional help, motivation, and support. This might be a matter of concern, because credible information is provided only by sources that are both competent and trustworthy. Basing food choices on information provided by sources that are friendly, motivating, and supportive, but not knowledgeable and competent, may result in unhealthy behavior and negative consequences. With our last research question, we wanted to know whether students' credibility judgments were related to their nutrition literacy and healthy diet behavior. It showed that the students who valued the importance of authors' education, experience, impartiality, and being well-meant as credibility criteria expressed slightly higher level of healthy diet behavior. Healthy diet behavior was positively correlated with the level of trust and the frequency of using advice from authors on social media. Students who found it difficult to find and evaluate nutrition information attached more importance to the popularity of the author on social media And also some students who had problems in understanding nutrition information relied on friendliness and popularity of authors on social media as credibility indicators. Such behaviors fit into the description of bandwagon effect. Due to uncertainty in their own knowledge of certain topic, some of the surveyed students relied more on popularity of authors as indicator of their credibility. Most of them consider popularity irrelevant, but friendliness was considered moderately relevant. And finally, here are our conclusions. The majority of students checked the consistency of information from multiple sources, but the focus in this research was on criteria in judging credibility of authors on social media. Students claim to value authors' expertise higher than friendly interaction, but friendly interaction is more indicative of their information behavior. Motivating and friendly interaction is important to students who use social media more frequently to gain healthy diet information. Students who exhibit healthy diet behavior give more value to authors' expertise, while students who have problems in understanding nutrition information rely more on friendliness and popularity of authors on social media as credibility indicators. These findings might serve as guidelines for the development of health-related literacy instructions that would educate young people on making credibility judgments by using both the criteria of competence and trustworthiness of information sources. And what has to be said is that popularity and perceived friendliness of source that offer information on social media must not be mistaken for credibility in providing healthy diet information. In future research, it is necessary to further verify whether there is a sufficient basis for defining friendliness as a credibility heuristic cue. Thank you, and now we would appreciate your questions.